So far, I've given you information on psychomotor, sensual, and emotional overexcitabilities. In this video, I'm going to explain overexcitability number 4, intellectual overexcitability, by answering 5 questions. What is intellectual overexcitability? What are examples of intellectual overexcitability? What are the upsides and downsides of intellectual overexcitability? And what are the characteristics of intellectual overexcitability in gifted people? Let's find out. 1. What is intellectual overexcitability? When the average person thinks about a gifted child, intellectual overexcitabilities are usually what comes to mind. People who have intellectual overexcitability have a deep need to seek understanding and truth, to gain knowledge, and to analyze and draw parallels between things. The intellectual overexcitability is characterized by an intense and accelerated mental activity. That doesn't mean, however, that it is concerned with academic achievement. Instead, it is concerned with a love of truth and a quest for understanding. Gifted children with this overexcitability may not be high achievers in school, but they are still deeply curious and interested in learning. People with intellectual overexcitability are often avid readers, are usually keen observers. They are able to concentrate, engage in prolonged intellectual effort, and are tenacious in problem solving when they choose. Other characteristics may include relishing elaborate planning and having remarkably detailed visual recall. People with intellectual overexcitability also ask deep and probing questions. Questions about God, death, and the meaning of life. People with intellectual overexcitability frequently love theory. They love being introspective, thinking about thinking, and moral thinking. This focus on moral thinking often translates into strong concerns about moral and ethical issues, like fairness, the importance of respect, or issues like homelessness, racism, segregation, AIDS, or war. Intellectually overexcitable people are also independent of thought and sometimes appear critical of and impatient with others who cannot sustain their intellectual pace. They may become so excited about an idea that they interrupt at inappropriate times. 2. What are examples of intellectual overexcitability? Let me give you 2 cases in point. Number 1, a boy, 8 years old, looked at the woman in the elevator. He tried to hold back, but blurted out just before the elevator reached the ground floor, "Ma'am, why do you only have one leg?" Number 2, a woman met 12-year-old Martin at an IT workshop, where he was the only young participant among adults. Martin was asking intelligent questions beyond her direct comprehension, but triggering her curiosity. Sadly, the workshop leader became quite uncomfortable and reacted defensively. Afterward, the woman had a chat with Martin, a very gentle soul, and he asked her, "How am I supposed to learn when it offends people if I ask questions they can't answer? How am I to know what they know and don't know?" 3. What are the downsides of intellectual overexcitability? All straight-A students have intellectual overexcitability, right? We know what this overexcitability means, so it wouldn't be a strange conclusion. But no, it's not true. Not all straight A students have intellectual overexcitability. In fact, those with this overexcitability can easily be turned off by work at school if it doesn't challenge them enough. Although they are intensely curious and thrive on learning new information, and although their minds are always activated, if the subject doesn't interest them, they just don't care about it. As I mentioned earlier, they can sometimes become impatient with those around them who can't keep up with them. That impatience sometimes comes out as insensitive criticism. They may also become so engrossed in their thoughts that they miss what others are saying, like the teacher, particularly if it's not interesting to them. Speaking of teachers, they may repeatedly question their teachers, who may interpret such questions as disrespectful instead of curious. Students with intellectual overexcitability may also interrupt others inappropriately because they can't contain their excitement over an idea. And we teachers don't always like that. These children often have trouble falling asleep at night because they can't turn off their brains. So are there upsides of intellectual overexcitability? Yes, there are. People, or we who have this overexcitability, are tenacious learners and problem solvers. We are observant. We notice things others may easily miss. We can maintain concentration and focus for a long time, but only when we deem the effort to be worthy. We tend to be excellent planners, we tend to be independent thinkers, and enjoy theory. I love theory. So we enjoy theory as well as meta-thinking, which means thinking about thinking. These traits can make us who have intellectual overexcitability excellent researchers. 5. What are the characteristics of intellectual overexcitability in gifted people? Here are 13 characteristics of intellectual overexcitability in gifted people. 1. We have a high level of curiosity. That is so true. And it often annoys other people because asking all those questions we want to ask can be annoying to other people. Number 2, we have a capacity for sustained intellectual effort. Number 3, we have a wide variety of interests. And that's often frustrating for us who have intellectual overexcitability because we have so many interests, we're unable to explore all of them. So we have to make a choice, and that choice can be a hard one to make. Then number 4, we are typically avid readers. That is so true. I can't read one book at a time because I get bored, so I usually read 3 to 5 books at a time. Right now, I'm reading these 3 books. I'm reading one book in Swedish. It's called, or its title is Ett lik för mycket by Karin Hjulström. That's great. Cozy crime, if you're into that. And then in English, I'm reading Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston, which is great gay romance, if you're into that. Well, I am. And then I just finished this one. It's called Julia by Mariette Middelbeek. I read this one in Dutch. This one is great historical romance and drama. Okay. Number 5, we are nonfiction, so we're nonfiction and documentary fans, which is so true too. If you haven't read How the Word is Passed by Clint Smith, Read it. It's great nonfiction. Just a great book, especially if you're a Black American. Read it. But this is world history, my friends, so it doesn't matter what skin color you have or where you're from. If you're a citizen on this planet, read this book. It's world history, my friends. And the same author, Clint Smith, also hosts Black American History on Crash Course, which is another YouTube channel. If you haven't heard about it, and that documentary series is excellent. I'm watching it and loving it. Okay. Then number 6, we are strategic thinkers. And number 7, we who have intellectual overexcitability ask deep and probing questions. 8, we are introspective and metacognitive. I, for instance, love just sitting in my bed and think. 9, we have a deeper level of thinking and questioning. 10, we are intensely focused on topics of interest, but they don't necessarily have to be academic topics. We can be interested in anything. 11, school is often not challenging enough, but we can be struggling learners due to lack of engagement. I, for instance, was a huge major underachiever. I was a major underachiever in school. I could have skipped grades, but I just didn't care. 12, we are impatient and critical of others, especially teachers. And now thinking about it, I just find it a little bit funny because now I am a teacher, but back in the days when I was a student myself, I was really, really critical of teachers. So now when I interact with students who are very critical of me, I just need to smile because I used to be that person. And number 13, we find it hard to fall asleep at night because it's difficult for our brains to be quiet. We can't shut up our brains. It's hard for our brains to be quiet. When I was 11, it took me at least an hour to fall asleep at night. I just couldn't turn off my brain. This information came from these websites. You'll find these links below this video. So there you have it. If you found this video interesting, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment in the comment section below. Subscribe to my channel and watch this series from the start. I don't know exactly in how many weeks, but I will be back with a new video in this series on intellectual giftedness. Till then, I only want to say 3 things. Thank you for watching. Take care, and I'll see you back in my next video.